Welcome to one more video in Sumita Roy's English classroom. I'm Professor Sumita Roy. Today we have a video on beginners speaking and writing. The earlier video was speaking and writing for all levels, in which you saw how picture reading is done. Picture reading is a very important part of your learning to speak a language, learning to express yourself by looking at something. Today, we have a beginner's video because many of the beginners are interested in simple sentences. The sentence is the basic structure of communication. So first we should know how to put jumbled words into sentences. Today we have three exercises. The first exercise is the jumbled words which you put into proper sentences, coherent, meaningful sentences. The second exercise of the three exercises is sentences are jumbled, not the words. The sentences are arranged in an order which is not sequential. It doesn't have the correct meaning. You have to look at these sentences and see which of them goes ahead, which of them comes later. The third exercise is speaking or writing about some topics which are given. A topic might be given to you, and you might be asked to speak a few sentences about it. Since this is a beginner's level, we are going to do some very basic structures of English. Don't think that we will go into higher levels immediately. Many of you are asking for grammar lessons. Lot of grammar can be learned if you look at this video carefully and look at it many times. You stop at each slide, look at it, copy it down, practice it, then you will get a lot of benefit. Let us move to the first exercise. Here you find that in black you have a few words jumbled up, and in red you have the correct form of the sentence. Let us look at each of them. To take me the river big. These are the words that are there in the sentence. Now, given this jumble, you have to make the correct sentence from it. So you say, take me to the big river. You have to arrange it like that. Now, in this slide, I have shown you the jumble and the answers. The next slide will be your test. So please look at this slide very carefully. Now, the next jumble is the daughter, the kings, had into water fallen. So many. It sounds okay as though some kind of sentence is being made, but that doesn't make sense. Now we have to get a sentence which makes complete sense. Remember, that is the definition of a sentence which makes complete sense. It doesn't depend on anybody else or anything else for making sense. So the king's daughter had fallen into the water. That is how the sentence is. Next one is washing the women were the river in their linen. Linen is clothes. If you have doubts about any of the words, you should immediately check the word in your dictionary and practice it many times so that the word and its meaning gets embedded in your mind and you can use it while speaking or writing. So we have the correct sentence. The women were washing their linen in the river. Next one is the wood collect boy, the young, went to forest from. The correct one is the young boy went to collect wood from the forest. Now the last of them is the crocodile, the child hungry to eat wanted. Now you have here the hungry crocodile wanted to eat the child. This is how jumbled words. Sometimes we might jumble only a single word. We put the word in a wrong position. The sentence becomes wrong. Then we have to correct the position of the word. Here I've given you very simple ones because this is beginner's level. But if you're doing a higher level, if you're learning from mistakes, you might find that the jumble is only one word which is misplaced. And if you replace that one word, the sentence becomes correct. So please practice. Now let us move on to the next one. This slide has some jumbled words which you have to make into sentences. I will give the answers in the next slide. So you pause at this slide. All of you who are at the beginner's level, please stop at this slide. Take down all the jumbled forms. Try to arrange them on your own and only then move to the next slide, which has the answers. If you go on watching like a video, then it's not really helping you at all. First, we saw a worked out exercise. Now we are going to see a few jumbled forms. The answers will be in the next slide. Look at the jumbles. Solve the problem quote was by the finally. A school got this competition student of award in an hour. The success is reward of work hard. Will catch the soon police the culprit. The sentence aloud, teacher may each read. The flowers old to went, some woman collect. Could not to go, they the yesterday market. It you must all help, who those need. Salute. Now, salute is a word which is put in inverted commas. Means to respect the word pay. The damage severe earthquake caused. Now, these sentences are not properly arranged. They do not have the correct structure. They do not have the correct sequence. Meaning is somewhat clear. You can just guess what the sentences might mean, but they are not correct. Now you put them in the correct form. In the process, you are also learning grammar. When I go to grammar videos, you have to come back here and see how grammar is also taught by this jumbling. Let us move on to the answers now. Stop and work it out, then only go to the answers. I hope all of you who are at the beginner's level have worked out the earlier test and only now you're checking the answers. So let us see how they are. The first jumble was solve the problem quote was by the finally. Now the right structure is the problem was finally solved by the quote. This is how it is made. Now look at the second jumble. A school got this competition student of award in an hour. So you put a student of our school got an award in this competition. The success is reward of hard work. So you have the reward of hard work is success. Will catch the soon police the culprit. The police will catch the culprit soon. Now you see how the structures are being formed. I'm sure all of you can make out that we are able to put the structures in such a way that the sentence reads like an English sentence. It doesn't read like a mixture of words which are just thrown together. The sentence aloud teacher may each read. So the teacher may read each sentence aloud. The flowers old to went some woman collect. The old woman went to collect some flowers. Then you have could not to go they the yesterday market. They could not go to the market yesterday. It you must all help who those need. You must help all those who need it. Salute means to respect the word pay. The word salute means to pay respect. The damage severe earthquake caused. The earthquake caused severe damage. Now you can see how these are the answers to the test which was given earlier. This is our first exercise. The exercise is that you have a jumble of words, or you have words which are arranged in a manner which is not correct grammatically. You try to put the words into the grammatical form, and then what you get is the correct form of the sentence, not a jumble of words. Very often we write something which we want, but because we do not know grammar correctly, we make a jumble of the words. The words don't really mean anything. Now it is up to you to learn from this. Wherever you see that there are words, you jumble them up and try to bring them back to the right order. If you keep practicing this for a long time, you will find that you are learning the structures of English sentences. There are some structures of sentences which I will do in one video, but today it is not there. Now the next exercise is how to make a paragraph. Paragraph is a collection of sentences on a single topic, on a single idea. Putting 5 or 6 or 10 sentences together is called a paragraph. So again, the sentences are jumbled this time, not the words, and you have to make them into a coherent paragraph. Let us see. Here we have the next exercise. Here the words are not jumbled, they are not put out of order. The order of the sentences is put in a way which does not make sense. You have to arrange the sentences in such a way that they form a single unit of meaning, and that is what we call a paragraph. The smallest unit of speaking and writing is a sentence. We did that earlier. The next bigger unit is the paragraph. Now we are going to do that. Here we have 3 exercises. That is why I have called this as number 1. Rearrange into a paragraph. These are the sentences. First, you will see a slide where the rearrangement is for speaking, because when you're speaking, your spaces are determined by how much time gap you give. You speak a sentence, then you stop for a little time, then you speak another sentence. So it can be arranged like this in the next slide. But when you're writing, this cannot be done. You cannot write separate sentences in separate lines and still call it a paragraph. A paragraph should have continuity. Unlike the poetry which you saw in listening part 2, mid-level listening part 2. There you will find that each sentence is in a separate line, or each half a sentence is in a separate line. But in a paragraph, there has to be continuity. So for each of these exercises, jumble which I have given you, the not properly arranged group which I have given you, has 2 slides of correct answers. One is for speaking and the other is for writing. Let us look at these sentences. They were told to wait for the next bus. The first sentence. They sent a complaint to the transport company. Next sentence. Many people were waiting at the bus stop. Next sentence. So some people could not go to work that day. Another sentence. But all could not get into the first bus as it became crowded. That's one more sentence. The bus came late today. That's one more sentence. The next bus was expected after an hour. Now you see, these are the many sentences. We can guess what they are trying to say about passengers and bus and, late of coming of the bus and so on. But when we read this, it doesn't read like it makes any sense. Therefore, we have to move on to arrange them, rearrange them, so that you have a paragraph. Let us see how this is done. First speaking and then writing. Now, after looking at those sentences, you can arrange them like this and speak individually. The bus came late today. That is the first sentence. Many people were waiting at the bus stop, but all could not get into the first bus as it became crowded. Now, you can also say many people were waiting at the bus stop first, and the bus came late today. That also is possible. But the logical sequence is better if you say the bus came late. Why were many people waiting? Because the bus came late. So you put it in a logical form by saying the bus came late today. Many people were waiting at the bus stop. If the bus had come early, maybe many people would have gone off. Now the people kept collecting, bus did not come. So you have to apply your mind. You have to see what fits where. But all could not get into the first bus as it was crowded. Many people, therefore crowded. You can't put this earlier because it doesn't make sense. The word but connects it to the people who are waiting and the bus which came late. They were told to wait for the next bus. When we have a pronoun, we should immediately know that it cannot be the first sentence in a paragraph. You remember, go to the earlier slide, you will find that the word sentence with they starts the paragraph. That cannot be true because a pronoun has to know what it is referring to. Already we have many people. So the word they refers to many people. It cannot be that, without mentioning many people first, you can use the word they. Therefore, remember that they were told to wait for the next bus. So bus became crowded. See how the continuation is? So if the bus is crowded, they were told, don't come, none of you should come in. Please wait for the next bus. The next bus was expected after an hour. Now see the continuity, the connection. The next bus, they had to wait. When would the next bus come? The next bus would come after an hour. If you put this up and down, then it doesn't make sense. Because first we have to know that why were they not allowed into the bus? And therefore, because the bus was crowded. What were they told? They were told that wait for the next bus. And then, of course, the next bus is expected after an hour. So, now reason. So, some people could not go to work that day. Now, if the bus comes 1 hour, by the time you reach your office, it will be very late. So, they could not go to work that day. They sent a complaint. Now, earlier it was many people. So many people, they. Now here, some people, because half the people have gone in the earlier bus. Now some people sent a complaint to the transport company. Now you see, some people sent a complaint to the transport company. So that is the last sentence which we have here. Now the sequence is properly arranged. The earlier slide showed you how the spoken part is, because in speaking nobody knows whether you're putting the sentences together or you're putting it in continuity. But look at the difference of the appearance of the speaking and writing when you have it in print. So if you are going to speak, suppose you have to give a talk or you're participating in an elocution, you can always write down points like I showed you in the earlier slide. You need not write full sentences, but here in a paragraph, you have to write it in continuity. You can't say the bus came late today and go to the next line. You have to continue in the same line. So the same thing what we read earlier, it reads like this. When you're writing, you have to be very careful. Where are the full stops? Where are the capital letters? You see, transport company, that was, the name of the company which was running the bus might be transport company. Therefore, they are putting it in capital. We will do a lot about the types of nouns immediately after this. Then you will learn all this. So we have the same paragraph, same arrangement, no difference, only there is a structural difference. The bus came late today. Many people were waiting at the bus stop, but all could not get into the first bus as it became crowded. They were told to wait for the next bus. The next bus was expected after an hour, so some people could not go to work that day. They sent a complaint to the transport company. So you see how clear it is? Writing has to be written like this. So when you are practicing writing, each paragraph should be a different unit. Now, if you want to write another paragraph, you must come to the new line and start again. Usually, in since we are using computers today, we can have some space at the end of this by saying that you put, para space you put. Otherwise, you put the first word slightly inside. That is called an indent. That you will learn when I'm teaching you writing, maybe at an advanced level. Not now, but much, much later. Let us move now to the next exercise. This is the second paragraph which you have to rearrange, and the sentences are put again in an order which is not the correct order for a coherent paragraph. For a meaningful, correctly organized, one sentence following from the other kind of paragraph. So you need to see which of them should fit where. It has two tasks. There is an elephant in this forest. They fetch a good price. These artifacts are sold in many shops. Artifacts are, beautiful, creative things which are made, art forms. Ivory is used to make artifacts. The tusks are sold as ivory. It is a very huge animal. Huge means very large. You might have seen an elephant, or at least a picture of an elephant, or an elephant in a zoo. So you can easily guess that the word huge, even if nobody tells you that huge means large, you must be able to guess that. That is how vocabulary improvement comes. When you constantly read or constantly listen, you come across so many new words. After listening to those words many times in different contexts, you don't have to look at a dictionary at all. Suppose you want to learn a new language. As I told you, India is rich in languages. You watch television of an unfamiliar language, you watch the programs for a few months, then you will be able to guess which word means what. You might never have any formal education in that language. But if you see some news items, if you see some plays, television serials, you will be able to easily make the, the language becomes easy. You will be able to understand what they are trying to say. You might not become perfect in that language. That might take a few years. But remember that the most natural process of learning the language is listening. Listening, there's nothing compared to listening. That is why listening is so important. I started by giving you two videos on listening. That is because listening is so important. You must listen to them again and again. Listen to new passages, new, uh, you know, podcasts, anything you want to listen to. As long as you listen more, you become better. So let us see how these sentences are rearranged. You are familiar with the pattern now. First, we have the sentences which are jumbled. Then we have speaking, which is written individually, each sentence. This makes it clear for you to understand how those sentences are arranged here. That is much easier for you to follow since you are beginners. Then you, while writing, you have to put it in a paragraph form with continuity and no line break, as I'm showing you in the third of the slides for each of these exercises. So let us see how this arrangement is. There is an elephant in this forest. First sentence. You know, the whole paragraph is about the elephant. So elephant has to come in the beginning. It is a very huge animal. So now you're giving some introduction to the elephant. It has two tusks. Tusk is the long thing which comes out of the elephant. The elephant, if you've seen an elephant, you will find that not all elephants have tusks. They say African elephants have better and greater tusks. But even in India, we have many elephants which do have tusks. The tusks are sold as ivory. So that long white tooth which comes, two teeth which come out are called tusks, and they are sold as ivory. The material which it is made of is very precious. It is ivory. Ivory is used to make artifacts. If you go to shops where gift items are sold, you will find small boxes are made of ivory. You have, very beautiful smoking pipes made out of ivory. You have bookmarks made out of ivory. You have pen holders, pencil holders made out of ivory. There are so many things which are made out of ivory, in which case you have to steal the ivory from the elephant. The elephant doesn't give it to you, so it is stolen. These artifacts are sold in many shops. They fetch a good price. Fetch is to get. You can get a good amount of money. uh, Ivory is very expensive, so you can get a lot of money by selling these ivory articles. So all these sentences arranged in a logical order. Now you can't change, unlike the other one, first one, where I told you that the first and two second sentences might be changed. But more logical is to put the first sentence first and the second one. Here you can't change any of the sentences. They are all in an order which you have to keep as it is. Let us see the written form. This is a small paragraph, you can see, and the sentences are all put together in continuity, and that is how writing is done. So when you're practicing writing, please practice like this, that there is continuity. When the idea changes, you are introducing something else, a new idea. The paragraph becomes a second paragraph. Then you go on to another idea, you have a third paragraph. Like that, we have what is called as a composition or an essay, but that will come much later. Today we are restricting ourselves to sentences, words and sentences. So this is the same thing which I have already told you, but it is only structured differently. There is an elephant in this forest. It is a very huge animal. It has two tusks. The tusks are sold as ivory. Ivory is used to make artifacts. Now here, instead of ivory, ivory twice, a good paragraph writing might replace ivory with the pronoun it. That is also possible. So you can improve your writing by not using the same word again. Similarly, earlier also, it has two tusks. Now, the tusks can be replaced by they. So you can say, it has two tusks, they are sold as ivory. Ivory is used instead of saying, it is used to make artifacts. Now, each of the pronoun refers to the noun before it, so you can understand. But using the noun makes it clear. Your paragraph writing improves if you don't repeat a word very often. These artifacts, again you can say they, are sold in many shops. They fetch a good price. So everywhere where there are nouns which are repeated, you can use pronouns. I will teach you how in the grammar lessons, how the pronouns are used, how they replace nouns. This will come later in one of the grammar videos. Let us move to the third of our jumbles. This is the last of this exercise where you have a few sentences. But the skin and flesh of animals have a ready market. Sometimes the skin is kept intact and stuffed. Hunters live by killing animals. That is cruel. There are various laws to protect animals. Such a job is called taxidermy. A person who does this job is a taxidermist. For this, the hunters have to kill big animals. So you see, all these sentences are there, but they are not arranged in an order which makes some sense. We need to arrange them properly. How will we arrange them properly depends on your understanding what they're trying to say. Here they're trying to talk about hunters and animals and killing of animals, and then the rules which are there which says that you shouldn't kill animals. Then you have also the how animals are used after their death. Death is not the end of an animal. The animal's skin is used, then animal's flesh is used. Then you have also something which is the stuffing of animals. And you have new terms like a taxidermy or taxidermist, a person who does the job of filling the animals. Many people buy these stuffed animals, they hang it in their um, on their walls, or they put it in their living room somewhere, where people can admire it. There was a time when many people went hunting. Hunting was a good pastime for rich people. And then the taxidermist had a lot of work, because every great person, every rich person would get an animal and say that I want this animal to be stuffed so that I can show it to everybody that I killed this animal. It was a great ego thing for them. But today we don't have that cruelty. So here you have, a sentence about the cruelty of animals also. Now keep looking at these sentences, trying to put them together, and I'll show you how it is done in the next slide. Here we have the proper arrangement of the sentences. Now, wherever one slide has the arrangement which is not correct, please pause at that slide. Please try to do it yourself. Then only come to the answers. In this way, you are testing yourself. Otherwise, watch the whole video once, then second time you test yourself. When you're watching the video a second time, you can test yourself by pausing the video at the jumble and then coming to the proper arrangement. In this way, self-analysis, self-evaluation, this will help you a lot because by self-evaluation, you will be able to get the benefit of knowing whether you're really learning anything or not. Some of you have complained about the sound. If the sound is not correct, please try to check your own systems, because after recording, we are checking the sound and the sound is clear. If you have a problem, please try to check your own sound. So here we have the correct arrangement. Hunters live by killing animals. Now look at how you will know this, because all the nouns are used. Hunters live by killing animals. This has no pronoun. This doesn't begin with a pronoun. This doesn't refer to another sentence like these, those, etc. So they or it or he, that is cruel. Now, killing animals is cruel. There are various laws to protect animals. Many laws are there. That is, protection of animals. It is forest conservation or animal conservation. You have various programs where, the tiger population in India, for instance, that is very important. You have so many places in, Africa where you have huge national parks, and there you can go to see animals, but the animals need to be protected also. But the skin and flesh of animals have a ready market. Many people are very greedy. If the hunter is hunting animals, that's because he gets money. Two things are sold, the skin and the flesh. These are sold. So they have a ready market. That means immediately people buy it. Quickly people buy it. So they kill it. For this, the hunters have to kill big animals. For this is to supply to the market the skin and the flesh. They have to kill big animals. Sometimes the skin is kept intact and stuffed. That means they don't break the skin into small pieces. You just shoot the animal, there is just one hole, the rest of the body is fine. So you scrape out all the flesh. Imagine, it is so terrible. And then you give it to a person who will fill it. They will stuff it with some grass, dried grass, or some such thing. Such a job, such a job is stuffing the skin of animals. That is understood. From the previous sentence, you can get the link to the next sentence. What is this job? Stuffing an animal who is dead, whose skin has been scraped from its flesh. Is called taxidermy. This might be a new word to you. We will do a video on various professions, so you will know which word refers to what profession. That is how vocabulary is increased. Now, the person who does this job is the taxidermist. So the work is called taxidermy, and the person who does it is called taxidermist. So you see, you learn two forms of the same word. This is how the speaking part is. Now the writing is exactly the same as you've seen earlier. Let's see. I hope but by now all of you have understood how, although the speaking can be single sentences arranged logically, writing has to be in continuation. Writing cannot be separate like that if you are calling it a paragraph. If you're calling it a single sentence, no problem. But when you're calling it a paragraph, it has to be in continuation like this, because a single paragraph is all written together. A second paragraph is written in a different line. If you write it in a different line, it looks like a new paragraph. But each sentence is not a paragraph. Paragraph is a collection of sentences talking on the same point, the same topic. So you have here, hunters live by killing animals. That is cruel. There are various laws to protect animals, but the skin and flesh of animals have a ready market. For this, the hunters have to kill big animals. Sometimes the skin is kept intact and stuffed. Such a job is called taxidermy. A person who does this job is the taxidermist. Now, if an advanced level or mid-level student is watching this, you can make 3-4 paragraphs out of this by adding more sentences. So if you're practicing your writing skill, you take first about hunters, then about protection of animals, then about the, what taxidermists do. So you can easily get three paragraphs here. One about hunters and their job. Next about the rules which are there against hunting. Hunting is illegal. And then you have also the idea that a person who does the job of a taxidermist, that can be a third paragraph. Each paragraph should have about 5 or 10 sentences. And then you have a long essay on the killing of animals. That also is possible. But that is not for the beginners level, I'm saying, because the videos might be watched by all levels. So you can expand this, you can make it better. As I had told you at the beginning of the video, we're going to do three different kind of exercises today. One was where words were put in a disturbed order, you had to arrange them. The next were sentences were not properly arranged, you had to make a paragraph out of them. Now you have topics. 4 topics are given here: festivals, career, English, and vacation. Speak or write 5 or 10 sentences about, and these are the 4 topics. Since this is the beginner's level, we need not go into great details about any of them. Again, I have given you on each topic 2 slides. The content is the same. The sentences are exactly the same. But the only difference is that in speaking, you can put it in separate sentences because that will be easier for you to see and practice. But in writing, you cannot do that. In writing, you need to put all of them together. Now let us begin with the first of our topics, and that is festivals. The topic is festivals. First, the speaking slide. Now, if you want to practice this, like the earlier sentences, like the earlier 2 exercises, I'm sorry, then what you can do is take each sentence, jumble them, and arrange them again. Gives you more practice. Or you can jumble all the sentences and then put them in the logical order. Gives you another exercise, some more practice. But this is only speaking about a topic which is given. So the topic given is festivals. Now we can say, I have just put some ideas, some simple sentences, because many of you were asking, please give us some simple sentences. So these are very simple sentences. Please look at them carefully. We celebrate many festivals in India. If you are from some other country, write about your own festivals. You are getting to know about India, but you can write about all your festivals. The whole world celebrates festivals, so you can do that. Some are national festivals like Independence Day and Republic Day. These are 2 names of festivals. Therefore, you can see they are put in capital: I capital, D capital, R capital, D capital. Some are religious festivals like Deepavali for Hindus, Buddha Purnima for Buddhists, Mahavir Jayanti for Jains, Baisakhi for Sikhs, Bakrid for Muslims, Christmas for Christians, Navroz for Parsis, and many more. We have so many festivals. That is what is expressed. See how the sentence is so long. See how commas are used everywhere. I told you, you can learn everything from each video. It's not necessarily that grammar video is grammar, punctuation video is punctuation. No, everything is used everywhere, but we are learning by dividing them into small units as videos. Festivals are very colorful and everyone enjoys them together. Special food is prepared for each festival. Many people also buy new clothes to wear for festivals. A holiday is given for all major festivals. Now, see how simple the sentences are? You can write a lot more about festivals. Suppose you want to write more, you can go on describing each of these festivals for a higher level, not for the basic level. Basic level, this is good. But when you go higher and higher, you can talk about each of these festivals separately, one paragraph each. This is a single paragraph, as we will see in the next slide. I have been repeating this again and again, that while writing, we have to do it in continuity. So you can see that all the sentences which we had in the earlier slide are now put together in continuity, not in separate lines like it was earlier. The separate lines ones are for you to practice easily, to note easily. That is why I've put it like that. And for speaking, we can never know whether it is put in a separate line or not, because nobody says while speaking that this is the next line, this is the next line. But when you're writing, your paragraph has to appear like this. It has to be continuous. So we say, we celebrate many festivals in India. Some are national festivals like Independence Day and Republic Day. Some are religious festivals like Deepavali for Hindus, Buddha Purnima for Buddhists, Mahavir Jayanti for Jains, Baisakhi for Sikhs, Bakrid for Muslims, Christmas for Christians, Navroz for Parsis, and many more. Festivals are very colorful and everyone enjoys them together. Special food is prepared for each festival. Many people also buy new clothes to wear for festivals. A holiday is given for all major festivals. So you can see how the sentences are the same, the meaning is the same, everything is the same. Only the appearance changes when you are writing. So this is what you need to practice when you're when you're practicing writing. For speaking, nobody is going to check whether you've written it properly or not. You are going to say it, they're going to only listen to it. But when you write, somebody is going to look at it. So this look is important. The next topic is career. So this is the spoken part, career with sentences given separately. Career choice should depend on each person's talent and interest. There are many types of popular careers nowadays, like data science, hospital management, event management, business analysis, and so on. Students are eager to choose their career early in life. Schools have career counseling for higher classes. It is important to take up higher studies according to the career a person wants. Some people study something and then pursue a completely different career. That may not be a good decision because expertise is wasted in such a situation. Now, this is about career. You might have many words at the beginner's level which you might find difficult. Expertise, something which you are good at. You know, we say expert. When you go to some hospital, you say, I want to see an expert, a specialist. So that is what expertise is. Pursue is to follow, to go after. So if you follow a particular career, then you have, career counseling. People tell you what to do with your life. Talent, something which you have within yourself. All human beings have some good qualities, some advantages which they have from birth or they have learnt while they were growing up. These are your talents. So your career should be in accordance to your talent. Interest, I'm sure all of you know. Popular, all of you know. Eager is very, wanting, having that desire to do something. That is eager. And the rest, of course, are easy words. If you have difficulties, as I told you, please go to the dictionary. The dictionary is your best friend. Keep it always with you. Once more, you have the written form of the same thing. Career choice should depend on each person's talent and interest. There are many types of popular careers nowadays, like data science, hospital management, event management. business analysis, and so on. Students are eager to choose their career early in life. Schools have career counseling for higher classes. It is important to take up higher studies according to the career a person wants. Some people study something and then pursue a completely different career. That may not be a good decision because expertise is wasted in such a situation. Once more, this is for the basic level, only a single paragraph. But about careers, you can write 5 or 10 paragraphs if you're at an advanced level. You can write 3, 4 paragraphs if you're at a mid level, depending on how much you can add to all these points. Separate these points according to the number of paragraphs you want to make, add new points if you want, and then you can have many paragraphs. Remembering that while writing, this is the structure of a paragraph. Since we are learning some English in these videos, English is an important topic. Many people whose mother tongue is not English are eager to learn English. So, what would you say if somebody asked you to speak about English? Look at these. These are ideas which I have given you, but you might have many ideas, better ideas for every topic which I have given you. Use those ideas, put them into English, and go ahead. In today's world, English is an important language. You've given a first sentence, introductory sentence. It is the most widely spoken language in the world. It links people in different parts of the world. In the beginning, it was the mother tongue of Great Britain alone, but now it is the mother tongue of many nations. There are many advantages of learning English. It helps in achieving career goals as it is the accepted medium of communication all over the world. Now, you see, so much more can be said about English. I have given you at the basic level some simple sentences about the topic English. The exercise was to write 5 to 10 sentences. So all the topics we are writing about 5 or more than 5 sentences. And we are putting it in the logical order which we learned in the second exercise. We are not jumbling our ideas, but one idea grows from the other. Each sentence also has a logical sequence. We learnt how words can be jumbled up. Here they are not jumbled, they are put in the right order. So you can easily see how about English these can be said. Now look at the written form. So we have the written form. Look at the way in which the writing is done. Practice this often because many times when you write your examinations, when you write a report or you send a formal email, you make many mistakes in the way in which you write. So this is not acceptable. When you want to learn something, learn it properly. And that is why writing a paragraph is what we are practicing here. In today's world, English is an important language. It is the most widely spoken language in the world. It links people of different parts of the world. In the beginning, it was the mother tongue of Great Britain alone, but now it is the mother tongue of many nations. There are many advantages of learning English. It helps in achieving career goals as it is the accepted medium of communication all over the world. This is how you put it. Now again, you can write many paragraphs about English, make it longer, and write an entire essay about English. But that I will leave to the higher levels. Today we are at the beginner's level. This is the last of our 4 topics on which you had to speak or write. Now, this is vacation. So we have a few sentences about what is a vacation and what kind of vacations we have. Usually, whenever you get a topic to speak or write, you should ask yourself question: what, why, how, where, when. I gave you all the question words in one of the videos. Please go back and check them out. Then you will be able to remember, recollect what has gone ahead. Now, when you get any topic, if you ask all these questions, you get many ideas in your mind in the form of answers. Then you start speaking about the topic, or you start writing about the topic. Vacation is a small period of time spent away from home. It is a time for relaxation and enjoyment. Most people travel during their vacation to see new places. Mountains and beach resorts are popular destinations for vacation. Many people prefer to travel to places close to their city, but there are others who travel to different countries. That is why tourism has become a thriving industry in most parts of the world. We had one conversation on tourism. I think advanced conversation video has that. So vacation, tourism, you can look at all of them. But since this is beginner's level, we have only a few sentences about vacation. So you can describe your own vacation in 5 or 10 sentences by saying, last winter we went, and then where you went, what you did. You can do so many things with each of the four topics which I have mentioned. Now look at the paragraph form of it. This is the last of our slides for today's video, where you have how to put the sentences you formed on vacation while speaking into a paragraph form in writing. So it is all together, not separate lines as you did for speaking. Vacation is a small period of time spent away from home. It is a time for relaxation and enjoyment. Most people travel during their vacation to see new places. Mountains and beach resorts are popular destinations for vacation. Many people prefer to travel to places close to their city, but there are others who travel to different countries. That is why tourism has become a thriving industry in most parts of the world. Now, there might be some difficult words here, which you will try to look at the dictionary. These days, you have online dictionaries, they're not difficult at all. You don't have to really take only a book. But if you have a hard copy dictionary, there is no substitute for it. All of us, if we keep looking at the dictionary frequently without specifically learning anything, you will find that your vocabulary improves. So look at all the words which are difficult. Even if a simple word is difficult for you, you know, a word like vacation, a word like small, a word like period, a word like time, don't be embarrassed. There is nothing to feel sad when you don't know something. You must feel sad when you don't want to know. When you say, I don't want to learn, that is the saddest part. But not knowing is very good, because from not knowing, we can go towards learning. We can go towards knowing. So this should be your exciting journey, learning something new every day. Even in our old age, we are constantly learning. I told you I have finished more than 40 years of teaching, and still there is no end to my learning. I can not be only a teacher, I can learn. I can see that many of you are watching the videos and sending your comments. Please remember that all your thank you, etc., is deeply appreciated. If you have some topic which you're suggesting, I will note those down and I will make videos on those topics. If you have problems of the audio of the presentations, then you must check your own settings. I have also mentioned in many of the videos that don't try to talk to me, because I'm talking to you through the videos. Please feel as though I'm present with all of you in your own house or in your own hostel or in your workplace. I'm there with you. This is called astral projection. We don't need astral projection today. We have the online projection. So online, we are all meeting, and it is really wonderful to meet all of you and hear that you are benefiting. These are structured lessons. Unlike all the videos you have seen on uh, various other formats where I have spoken at a particular program on a particular topic which is given to me by the people who invited me. None of those videos were uploaded by us, and I had nothing to do with the uploading of those videos. I'm making these videos only because there is so much demand and request from all of you. So if you benefit, I feel happy. If you don't benefit, all my hard work in making these videos is a waste. So please watch the videos and please learn. Every day should be a process of improvement. Thank you and all the best.